So we are going to start with a very classical practice that comes from traditional yoga, classical yoga, and it's the alternate breathing. Some of you might know it, some of you might not. This practice is called Nadi Shodhana. You remember a moment ago I was talking about how we have these rivers of energy in our body that in the Chinese tradition they are called meridians, and in the Indian tradition they are called nadis, N-A-D-I, nadis. And Nadi Shodhana is the cleansing of those nadis. And we are supposed to have like 72,000 ones in the Indian tradition. In the Chinese tradition, it's more like 12 major ones and some other associated ones. But they all understand that is this energy, the energy of our thoughts, our emotions, sometimes gets a bit congested when we are fearful, when we are in process of grief, when we are in processes of self-doubt, of anger, or sadness. Also, sometimes anger is like the other side of sadness. You get angry because you are deeply sad and cannot express it, or you get sad because you are also perhaps sometimes angry somehow, but cannot express it and then go into depression. So let's practice the cleansing of the nadis, the cleansing of these rivers of energy that we have in our body. And that's done through Nadi Shodhana. And it's a practice that's also very interesting from the point of view of neuroscience, because we are going to be inhaling through one nostril. Let's say that it start always with the left nostril. That's going to stimulate the right side of the brain. And so we inhale through the left, it stimulates the right side of the brain. We exhale through the right, and then we are going to inhale through the right, that stimulates the left side of the brain, and we exhale through the left. So we are using alternate nostril breathing, and the passage of air is stimulating both sides of the brain. Sometimes we tend to lean more to use a part of the brain than the other. Maybe we are very logical, we don't go so much to the creativity, or we are super creative but very not so following the other advantages of the other side of the brain. So it's good to balance both of them with this kind of breathing. And also in recent discoveries of neuroscience, they have noticed that when we pay attention to something, for example, the breath, and in this case, it's a very powerful form of breath, there is the rest of the brain, the cerebral cortex and the different areas of the brain seem to go into what's called a neuronal silence. So the rest is in silence, and the focus is in the breath. And so it's mainly the focus is our attention is focusing on the breath, especially here in this area here, in the third eye, the Ajna chakra. That's very healing for the rest of the body, because when the rest of the brain is calm, it's not, trying to figure things out and thinking, I need to be here, I need to be there, why did this happen? Well, all that creates more stress and eventually more unbalance. When we are focused on the breath, it's very good for the brain, and from the brain, what it sends to the rest of the body. So for many, many reasons, this alternate breathing is really, really wonderful. I think I shared with you that when I went to the school in India, where I studied for a whole year from dawn to evening, in a school that trained yoga teachers to teach yoga in India. And then after I finished that year, I went and stayed in the ashram of Swami Digambarji, who was the main teacher at the school recognized by the government of India to train yoga teachers to teach there. When I was finally finishing the whole cycle and leaving, he said, if you don't have time for anything else, all these many, yoga practices you learn, everything, just do the alternate breathing and Om. So let's do the alternate breathing together. It's like the pinnacle of yoga, if you like. Okay, so just find the comfortable position, whatever is comfortable for you. If it's a stable position, better, so that you're not fidgeting too much around. Okay. And it's also important, the posture, because that allows the energy along the spine to run more freely. There is more space for the lungs and the heart also to, as we breathe. And we are going to now put our hands, if this is comfortable for you, in this posture, which is the Vishnu Mudra. If it's not comfortable for you to put these two fingers down, you can put them up here at the third eye. And mainly what we are going to be doing is using the thumb and the ring finger. Okay, so we are going to start by closing the right nostril with the thumb and inhale through the left. Close the left, open the right, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right nostril. Close the right nostril, open the left, exhale through the left. So that would be one round, starting with the left, inhaling through the left nostril, exhaling through the right, and then inhaling through the right, exhaling through the left. That's one round. Let's try to do 5 rounds initially and then 5 more. So are you clear with the fingers? Is the thumb and the ring finger the ones that we use to block one nostril so that we can breathe through the other? And as you inhale, notice the passage of air. Try to follow with your attention the air as it comes in and goes into your body. And also as you exhale, notice as it's coming out and feel the touch with the nostril and when it's coming in. So you're just, it's a very easy to concentrate practice, because there are so many wonderful anchoring for your attention. The attention usually is more difficult to train when you're saying just, okay, just observe your breathing. After 2 or 3 breaths, whew, the mind's gone. But in this one, perhaps we can hold it for, the attention. And if the mind goes away, just come back to what the last part you remember and continue from there. Okay. So again, we sit with the spine straight and the body relaxed. If this position is good for you, the index and middle finger down, and if not, here. And we are going to be working with the thumb and with the ring finger. So we start by closing the right nostril, inhaling through the left. Then closing the left, exhaling through the right. Try to find your own rhythm so that it flows in a way that's comfortable for you. And within that, try to slow it while still comfortable. Maybe there is a slight pause at the end of the inhalation. Without forcing. And maybe there is a slight pause at the end of the exhalation. That's a good way to slow the breath. You can add a sense of easiness, of relaxing. Feel the coolness of the air as it comes in. Inhaling like sighing. Exhaling like sighing. Feel the warmness of the air as it leaves your nostril. Let's do one whole round more. Inhaling through the left. When the time comes for you to exhale through the left in your own rhythm of inhaling and exhaling. Let's finish this round. And lower the arms and just for a moment sit with the aliveness within the stillness. So sensing the aliveness in your body and any effects of the breathing. And don't judge anything. If this was the first time you practiced the breath, your mind was probably trying to figure out the mechanics of it. If you have done it before, maybe you were able to relax, or just whatever happened is perfect because it is what it is, and there is no point in fighting with what it is. Okay, so if you have come to the left, whenever you come to the left in your round there, I see some of you are still practicing. Take your time to finish this round. We are going to again go for 5 more of this now that you know how it is, but I want to comment something to see parallels between the yoga tradition and the Qigong tradition. You know that the symbol of yin and yang, right? There is the cooling and the warmth. And in this breathing, there is also the cooling and the warmth. The inhaling through the left is associated with the energy of the moon. It's wonderful. Right now we are in full moon. We're going to also do a practice with that. So inhaling through the left is associated with the energy of the moon. So it's a more cooling, refreshing energy. So you inhale through the left, that cooling energy of the moon, and exhale through the left, sending the moonlight to all your cells of your body. And then when you inhale through the right, Surya Vedana, that's the sun energy. So it's a more active energy, if you want, will be yang in the yin yang tradition. So it's very interesting that in both ancient traditions from India and China, they all, of course, always are reflecting on the connection with the universe and with the different forces that are present in the universe and in our daily life, like night and day, moon and sun, heat and cold, right? And so in this balancing, we are also balancing if there is extra heat in our body, as we are inhaling with the cooling energy of the moon through the left nostril. We feel ourselves bathed with that cooling energy and that white light. And when we inhale through the right, we can just imagine the very early morning with a little bit of warmth of the sun and the sunlight, and then exhale. If you know you have many problems of heating or overheating, eventually you can practice mainly Chandra Vedana, which is inhaling through the left, exhaling, inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right, inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right. Just that for a time to try to counterbalance. So there is a alternate nostril breathing, which is what we have been practicing, inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right, inhaling through the right, exhaling through the left. That's the classical one for balancing everything. And then if you like to practice cooling, you could do Chandra Vedana, which is inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right several times. Eventually, when you feel more cool, you go back to both of them. You can alternate them if you like. All right, so let's now do 5 more rounds of cleansing our nadis, purifying our nadis with Nadi Shodhana, and also for you just to become more familiar with this practice. I mean, we could have done 10 rounds from the beginning, which is what I would advise every day, 10 rounds of Nadi Shodhana. But for you to start becoming a little bit more acquainted with it and then increasing up to 10. So let's do now 5 more. And now you have a little bit more of background. You are still sitting in a comfortable position, very relaxed, spine straight. We're still using this mudra. Mudra is a gesture, position of the hand. Yes, good. Yes, excellent. And now we are going to, or this, if that's not so easy for you, we are going to using the thumb and the ring finger. Okay, so again, try to find your own rhythm. Remember, this is very relaxed. So I like to inhale and exhale like if I'm sighing. That gives me a sense of relaxation. And especially during the exhale, there is even more opportunity to relax. Okay, let's try it. We close the right nostril with the thumb. We open the left and inhale through the left. Close the left nostril with the ring finger. Open the right. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close the nostril. Right nostril. Open the left. Exhale through the left. Now we're going to do 5 more of this at your own pace, always inhaling through the left, like sighing. Exhaling through the right, that cool energy of the moon. Inhaling through the right, the wonderful light of the early morning. Exhaling through the left, that light. So in your mini universe, inhaling the moonlight through the left. Exhaling that cool light, sending it to all the cells of your body. Inhaling through the right, the early morning light. Closing the right, opening the left, exhaling that light of the early morning to all the cells of the body. And 4 more at your own pace. If you want to add a soft smile in your face, you will notice how your whole system softens. As you inhale and exhale, feel also the purifying of your body of toxins, of tiredness. Letting go of unease, welcoming a sense of ease and flow. Not judging anything, just being curious about whatever is present in you at this time. Let's do one last round. Inviting your body to rest in this practice. You finish exhaling through the left. Whenever your time comes for that, finishing exhaling through the left, then you lower your hands and just sit for a moment with the aliveness and stillness of your body. Maybe you notice that some parts of your body feel more alive, there is more movement there. And inviting a sense of grounding, of resting, of letting go of whatever you are wanting to let go that we mentioned today when you were setting your intention. Relinquishing, releasing that. And letting in what you want to invite into your life. Receiving that. You can use a natural movement of the breath. With every exhalation, letting go, relinquishing of what you want to let go. Feeling that it leaves your body. It's being relinquished, layers and layers of it. And with every inhalation, you take in what you want to invite into your life. Open yourself to receive it and letting it in. Now, intentionally. if you have been following some of the many writings that are coming from neuroscience, you know that um, our brain and our nervous system is plastic, not in the sense that it's made of plastic, but it's malleable. And so it receives the impressions we intentionally plant in it, like in this moment, this sense of relaxation, this sense of inviting what you want to cultivate. And that starts to form new grooves in your brain and your nervous system. It will take repeated practice, what in yoga is called regular sadhana, and also in Qigong, they talk about regular practice. Qi being the life force and Gong meaning work, is the process of the work and the state to which you arrive because of that daily work. The same with yoga. Yoga is that sense of union, is the process to arrive to that sense of oneness, of union, integration within your own self and with others. Is the process, and it's also the state of experiencing it. So what I'm trying to say here is that when you do these intentional moments, it will take more of it to get it really established. But the important thing is at this moment you are conceiving it, right? You are experiencing and you are sensing yourself receiving it or relinquish what you want to relinquish. And then after you plant these seeds, you keep watering them with more practice. So for example, when the session finished, if you like, you could take 5-10 minutes to, in your own intention, in your own space, in your own initiative, recording this. So there are many songs that play in our head. Often we don't have control on what starts, coming up. Anger, longing, loneliness, excitement, whatever. But we do have power on what we record, right? So often we record blindly. So we go into anger, or we go into grief, or we go into, and it tends to carry to more of the same. And so if we want to change a little bit that, then we need to intentionally notice, oh, okay, this is coming up again, maybe at the point of, well, grief is something we want to honor, stay with it for a time, and then at some moment you might decide, I'm still remembering, I'm still honoring, and I feel that right now I need to move a little bit from this space into interacting or whatever. And so you create new possibilities for yourself. You are always this field of possibilities. You're not tied to any particular reaction. So what you cultivate, that grows. So remember, many songs come up in your head. That's okay. There are all kinds of different things in your head, heart, nervous system, but you have the power on what you record. So be aware, are you keeping recording this? Is this what you really want to record? Keep doing it. If it's not what you want to record, then try, coming back to the center by breathing, by relaxing, even, not necessarily the alternate breathing, but just sitting and relaxing and breathing through it as you contemplate it, and then having this perspective and intention, attention and intention of what do you want to cultivate, and taking the steps to cultivate that.